I can't do it. Okay. We'll do it live.
Okay.
No. We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Hey, y'all, this is Ryan Monso, and this is Talking About Them Cougars, the podcast from GoCoogs.com. That's Brad Towns, and we're here tonight for Section 12X. Section12X.com. They have free shipping all week. Get your hats. Get your Blue Game polos. We'll be talking about the Blue Game in a little bit. Get all your gear for going to the Cougs games. You got a 3-0 football team right now. 0 losses means 0 shipping. Go check out section12x.com. Not right now, but a little bit later. Brad?
Have you had your Star Pizza this week, Ryan?
I have, actually.
Should have told me. I would have met you up there.
I just needed some peace.
Everybody go to Star Pizza.
Star Pizza.
Tomorrow, you got a happy hour going. You got happy hour all week. And then you happen to have a Texans football game. Perfect. Pairs well together. Don't want to go then. Tuesday. Delicious pasta night.
I think Thursday's pasta night, buddy.
Is it
Got to get you working on this.
Thursday?
3 locations. Katy, 59 in Shepherd, and Harvard, and Washington.
Buffet, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, Tuesday lunch is a buffet. Wednesday or Friday's a buffet as well. Go get you some. We're probably going to have to do that this week.
I'm feeling it. I'm low on carbs.
No kidding. There you go.
Low on carbs.
Joining us in just a little bit, Austin Armstrong, your defensive coordinator. 29 points scored against in 3 games. It's been 36 years since that happened. Get you some of your guy. But we're going to go ahead and do our thing. You want to do our thing? Let's do our thing.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Who were you impressed with this week that you saw? What team?
Other than ours, I assume.
Yeah.
Delaware?
I watched a lot of that game. A lot of that game. They beat UConn in overtime at Delaware Stadium, which I never heard of.
Which one was the which one was the Rainmaker touchdown pass? The one thrown from the 10-yard line, about 30 yards straight up in the air.
Straight up in the air, yeah. That was fun.
That was nice.
Okay.
I hate to say
it,
was pretty good.
I didn't expect you to say Delaware's to start off, but props to you.
I thought A&M looked pretty good.
I was shocked that they stayed in that game and made the plays late. It turns out when you tackle a guy and don't get called on 4th down, that helps. But, they made the plays and shocking. But
I thought it was a hell of, pass was, it was airborne, but the tight end made a freaking hell of a catch.
Great catch. Georgia, I didn't think they had a chance in this game. And then early on, really didn't think they had a chance. But that Kirby Smart can coach. I'm going to tell you.
I think he might turn out to be pretty good.
They might keep him. I did not think anybody in this conference did anything worth celebrating. Unless I just forgetting someone. Houston won a nice game, but nobody else played anyone great. I guess Utah, congrats on your Wyoming win. They went up 2 spots in the AP thanks to winning in Laramie.
After last week, the polls that came out last week, I'm not even going to pay attention to polls.
No, you really shouldn't. But
I mean, that just showed last week showed what an abomination these polls truly are.
The real issue is that the people that voted on it are sports writers, or football college beat writers.
Mm-hmm.
Their job is to focus on one team all the time. And 99% of the time, they're going to that game.
Mm-hmm.
So how are they watching and being able to evaluate other teams? I don't see how. So if the AP poll goes away forever, I'm fine. If the coaches poll goes away, which is mostly SIDs and comms people doing that for their coaches, I'm fine with that too.
I got a little insight into it last year when I was part of a panel doing top 25 polls. And what I found is probably what happens with a lot of AP voters, because I watch a lot of games, but I can't watch every one of them. But what ends up happening is that once you'll do a lot of research the first week, and then probably a little bit more, or probably some the second week. But from then on, a lot of what happens is a team loses up here and they drop down here, and then just everybody gets scrunched up. Somebody will have a real big win that might be, off the page, and the others receiving votes, and they'll jump up to 14, 15. It just becomes a lot of just, okay, someone loses, everybody slides up. Somebody loses, everybody slides up. But it wasn't only the AP, it was also the computer polls.
Okay.
The FPI was all jacked up after week one. And if you've got an algorithm that also takes into account recruiting rankings, well, that's just flawed to begin with, because recruiting rankings are just built off bullshit. Because we know,
and that doesn't tell me who the best team is.
We know for a fact, and we've been able to prove it going from G5 to P5, P4, is that recruiting rankings tend to change when you are in a different conference.
Yeah. Different coaches, different conferences, the number of people that are paying for that service from that school, it makes a big difference. Yeah. All right. He's here a minute early. I love it. We're going to bring in Austin Armstrong, your defensive coordinator. They're basically ready to build a statue for you, Coach, off of 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, the thing I learned about this profession is very conditional, right? So
right.
None of the stops that happened last week are guaranteed for next week. So
yeah, you might be 12 days away from them all wanting to hang you. So enjoy it while you can.
That's right.
How do you feel about where your defense is right now?
Well, we've got a long way to go. I've certainly been pleased with the intangibles, the toughness, the effort, the physicality that we've played with, and the execution has to improve. They've done a good job. I can't commend our players for all the work that they've done since I got here in January, and their buy-in, their belief, and then obviously the uniqueness of your roster turnover. It changes. I mean, hopefully, obviously the new rule, but it changes every 6 months essentially. And the new additions, the job that our coaching staff has done, I can't compliment them and the players enough for the job they did, especially with adding, 4 4 to 5 new players in the spring portal window. So long way to go. Excited about this week. This isn't an off week. It's a bye week. So it's an opportunity. We're going to get 3 opportunities to improve our fundamentals, our techniques, and then schematically get prepared for Oregon State. So really excited about that. But commend the players for all their hard work and all the coaches for their execution of our plan. But we really feel like our best football is ahead of us.
We've talked a couple times about the way you installed your defense, starting when you got here through the spring and the summer. Can you kind of go through that and how piecing it together worked for you this time?
Yeah, so this is the third time I've been blessed with the opportunity to take over a situation as a defensive coordinator, and this is the second time of the 3 in which the staff was already there. Obviously we added Coach Hall after I was here when Coach Etheridge went to Miami, but the core of the staff was here, and they played really good defense here last year. So, getting here in January, we had 2 new coordinators, and, with NCAA rules, you're allowed to do a certain amount of stuff in February before you start spring practice, and then in the summer after you do spring practice. So, we came in due to our schedule, and, we essentially, put the identity of our defense on first and second down from the whole month of February before we started spring practice. And kind of with our meeting and lift and walkthrough schedule, we really just did 1 call a day for 4 days, and the players were off on Fridays. So we took that 1 call each day and really, really went into fine detail of how we did that, all the formation issues, all the things that arise there. Because if we can get it down close the first time, and we do a good job of teaching, we know we're going to get an opportunity in the spring to do it again, an opportunity in the summer 1 to do it again, summer 2 to do it again, and then in fall camp to do it again. And then obviously the application of it in the season. So, going through that and then getting in the spring practice. And so if you're doing that 1 a day, you're doing 4 calls a week. All right. And you do that for 3 weeks or 4 weeks in February. And then you do it again in spring ball, and a little bit of combination of that, because there's an introduction and there's a preconceived knowledge of, hey, this is what we're doing, and go do that for 15 spring practices. And then you add the situational football of the conversion downs of 3rd down, low red zone, 2-minute, those situations. So you do that in the spring, and you come back in the summer and you do a similar deal in summer 1, and then summer 2, a similar deal when we get back. And then when we started fall camp for the first time, we essentially put 8 to 10 things in on first and second down. And that's what we did for all of fall camp. And we kind of, as a staff, figured out, hey, what are we good at? What are the things about being multiple? Sometimes people think being multiple is just having a lot of calls. Well, multiple is, and being good on defense, in my opinion, is the ability to make the same things look different things look the same. So offensive football now, you look at our offense as a great example, the multiplicity of the formation variables that you get. If you're doing a bunch of stuff and they're doing a bunch of stuff, the quality of football becomes terrible, because all you're doing is getting lined up, and you got to survive for the 6 to 8 seconds between you getting a signal and getting lined up to play. Well, if you do that, you can't evaluate your talent. You can't, use the application of the fundamentals that you spend so much time working on from a 6 to 7 month year process, from January all the way to fall camp, and then in fall camp. And if, we can learn what to do by the way we've done it, we're able to play with effort and play with toughness and attack the football and play with fundamentals. So, I think it's paid off thus far of taking it slow. Whereas, when I got to Florida and transitioned from Alabama, I was taking over a very, very young team, very similar to what our defense is this year. And we just did too much. And we didn't do a lot in the season, but we wasted a lot of time in the summer and in the spring installing a lot of variables in the system, and we weren't able to get good at stuff. And then by the time we got to the season, and we improved drastically on defense there, but we wasted a bunch of reps for young players that we could have been mastering simpler things that we can do to allow them to play faster and develop as players.
Brad.
Through that, I guess coming off of that, one of the things that really stood out to me so far in what I've seen from this defense is guys really being disciplined within their roles, taking care of their task. How do you, especially with so much roster change, how do you integrate that, get them to not only understand their assignment, but trust the people around them so that they can focus on job one?
Well, to me, that starts with Willie Fritz. He is an outstanding football coach, and there's discipline and accountability in every aspect of our program. And when it starts from there, and his emphasis, is discipline, doing what you're supposed to do, playing with relentless effort, it really makes your job as a coach a lot easier, because all you're doing is reinforcing, what the head coach wants, which is the number one responsibility of assistant, is to reinforce the values and principles of the head coach. So that has, when it starts with there, it makes your job easy. And then it starts with the coaches and, the job that they've done of teaching our system. And, we spend a tremendous amount of time, because there's so much carryover with our plan, of teaching what the offense does. That's what we do all week long. We teach the field zones, we teach the D&D tendencies, we teach the formation tendencies, the back tendencies. Well, if you're spending a bunch of time installing, all the player can think about is, this is what I got to do, and you only have 4 days to get ready to do that. Well, if you're doing a lot of the same stuff over and over again, and certainly you call certain things for certain teams, but when they're able to know what the other team is doing, they're able to play fast and free and use the ability that God gave them, which made them good football players. And it starts, like I said, it starts at the top, but then it's our staff of the zero tolerance of not doing what you're supposed to do. And a lot of times, man, no one wants to do better than the players. And these kids have a lot of pressure on them, and they want to make a play. They want to have production. They want to do X, Y, and Z, because they work their tail off all year long for these opportunities. And our big thing is constantly play within the system. If you do your job, the play and the production is going to come to itself. And that's been the interesting thing each week, is we've had certain guys that have had a lot of production based off the calls we're in and the position and their ability. But each game we've had a different player, due to the game plan, have a lot of production. And then we've had guys that may not, light up the stat sheet, that played their tail off in the game because they did their job. And good defenses are always where they're supposed to be. They play with relentless effort and physicality, and they get to their fundamentals first. They can't get to their fundamentals first if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, and they're playing fast and free. And we spend a lot of time doing that, and it's exciting to see where we can go from there.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, because I've seen a number of different plays that are made out there where a guy, instead of going for kind of glory hunting for a tackle, they just did their job, and that opened it up for somebody else to make a play. So that's been impressive. One of the other guys, that stands out that I find his background fascinating, is Eddie Walls. You guys brought him in what, December? Is that right? Whenever you got here?
No, sir. He got here in the spring. He got here at spring practice.
Even crazier. So how did he get here? What did you see in him? Because he looks great.
Yeah, first off, Eddie's a fantastic human, and he's a great person. He's got great character. His family obviously did a fantastic job with him. And, our field end position, what we call the F, is extremely important in our defense. As a defense that goes from 3 down to 4 down, that guy plays inside techniques, outside techniques. He drops in coverage in certain situations. And then he also needs to be, 6'4" to 6'6" and weigh 260, 270 pounds. And behind him, we've got some really, really good young players that are stepping up for us as well. And Travis Buhaki and Sterling and Darius Washington and DK Mays, and really all those guys fit a lot of those characteristics. But, Eddie was at FIU and got in the portal, and we needed to add a player there because we kind of have a unique player that's kind of banged up right now for us in Q Lee that can play inside and outside. That's 6'4", 6'5", 300 pounds. But we needed to add a player at that position that has played. We knew we have some good young talent. James Ross has done an outstanding job at that position, coaching the Jacks and the F, our edge coach. And, Eddie played at Bethune-Cookman and then went to FIU. And, we had something like 5 or 7 sacks playing a similar defense that we played. And, that's one thing that pops off is, hey, we're adding this guy post-spring. And, he's not going to get as much time of learning what to do. He's got to have good character. He was actually coming off a minor knee injury. So there were some questions there, but, Wes and James found the guy and we were looking for him. And then I evaluated him, and man, we started recruiting him, and he came on his visit, man. He's unbelievably impressive as a person. And then obviously the position characteristics of the height, weight, speed, and then the tape was really good. And man, he has been a blessing to have in our program, and we're able to do some stuff with him. He moves well. He plays technique well. And I think Eddie's best football is ahead of him. And like I said, I can't commend, the job that James has done with him in a short period of time. And I can't commend the job that the kid has done and the buy-in. I mean, he was a captain for the second game of the season. The impact he's made on our team since he's been here. And I'm ecstatic about his improvement that he can make and he will make. And for the good football that he can play for us down the stretch.
Right.
I want to ask you about a couple linebackers. Before the season started, you told me, watch out for Jalen Garner. What has that guy done? How has he improved since you first saw him?
Yeah, so, Jalen and I kind of go back a little bit. When I was at Louisiana Lafayette as a linebackers coach during the 2020 season, it was a unique recruiting year for everybody because no one went on the road. And especially in group of 5, linebacker is a developmental position, and you really are recruiting players a lot of times that don't play inside linebacker, but fit the height, weight, speed characteristics that in a lot of high school programs, the best inside backer for college, a lot of times he plays in the apex, like the star position, or he plays on the edge because in that level of football, they can affect the game more. And you have to kind of get them to camp and figure out, can they kick, diagnose, and then what's their exactly height, weight, speed, and then what's their mental acuity of, hey, can this guy process? He's a good communicator, and all those things. And I actually recruited Jalen out of high school and ended up coming here. So when I took the job, one of the very first text messages I got after it kind of became public knowledge was from Jalen Garner and said, Coach, when are you going to be here? I want to meet with you. And my first day here, Jalen came and met with me in my office and was like, hey, Coach, I'm excited. It's crazy how things turn out. I can't wait to get to work. I'm going to prove to everybody that I'm a good player. And look, every player you meet with when you get here tells you all the things that they're going to do. And from the time that I got here in December to now, it's hard to find a player that has worked as hard as Jalen. And then you go through the off-season program and you start spring practice and like, hey, this guy's got good movement skills. He's very intelligent. He's a good communicator. And the guy really hadn't played here. He played special teams. He'd kind of come in and out of games. And I'm sitting here watching the guy and I'm asking him, I'm like, guys, like, why didn't this guy play? Like, where's the wart? Where's the wart at? Am I missing something? Is this guy crazy? Like, is he having injury history? Like, there's something wrong here. Because Jalen was very similar to a lot of guys I just got done coaching when I was at Florida. I'm like, this guy has got play strength. He can run. He's loose-hipped. He has stopping power. He has end-of-the-down block protection power. He has rush value on third down. And honestly, man, like I was confused that I was missing something. Because a lot of times if things are too good to be true, they are. And the guy has a good spring. We get about practice 6. And then he tears his pec. And, I'm like, wow, this is going to set him back. And then what an unbelievable job by Jalen from a physical, mental, spiritual standpoint and our training staff to get the guy back. I mean, we held him out a little bit of the first part of training camp, but the guy probably could have practiced. And he worked his tail off. And it's so hard when players go through injuries of keeping them mentally engaged the entire time. And Jalen, every day I was having a text message from Jalen. Hey, coach, what happened on this play? This guy wasn't even in the game. Hey, what happened right here? What do I need to do here? And he did an outstanding job of preparing to play. And then we get him back, and he has a good fall camp. And he's just been as good of a player on our team the first 3 games. And he's very smart. He can run and hit. He can get the guy out of the ground. He plays with the energy and passion and intensity that I think the game's supposed to be played with. And he's been outstanding so far. And he's hungry. He wants to prove himself. I mean, the guy in the game, though, they played will linebacker. He played both edge spots on 3rd down in the game in critical downs and had 1 MA the entire game. And he's been a blessing to coach. He makes me better as a coach. He's very curious. He asks questions. He's not intimidated to ask questions. He wants to be a really, really good player. And it's been a privilege to coach him. And, man, I'm so excited for him and the production that he's had and the team success we've had. And I'm really excited to see his development the rest of the season.
The one I wanted to ask you about most is Corey Platt. He has the best story maybe in college football, and he's gone out and had a sack for you each of the last 2 games. What is your experience with him, and take me through coaching him as a defensive coordinator?
Yeah, another guy, right? He's from Little Rock Christian, I believe. And when I was at Lafayette, Corey played safety in high school, essentially. And ended up going to Tulane. I remember the name. Then when I got here, Coach Fritz and West were like, hey, look, this guy got hurt last year. He came with us from Tulane. He was really impressive for us there. He's almost healthy. We're going to minimize him a little bit in spring practice, but this guy's a really, really good player. And, I come in and try to meet with every defensive player, and I meet with him. And, his story is like something out of a Disney movie. And, what a job by his parents. What a job for him from a mental, physical, and spiritual standpoint to have the perseverance to push through, not like just some normal injury, but, I haven't coached many players that have tore their Achilles ever. Yeah. And the ability to come out, what are the chances of doing that? And then the perseverance and the mental toughness to push through that. And I admire him so much. And I've told him that. I said, man, like a lot of guys would have hung it up. And everybody would have been okay with that. And, it's been a cool deal with Corey because during the practice settings, because he doesn't play much special teams for us, and he was kind of coming, he was not all the way in practice some, but he was able to do certain stuff. He and I are able to spend a lot of time with each other. And it's been really cool to see that. And then, the first game of the season, we had a scrimmage and he was a little beat up, nothing major, but the conversation that Coach Fritz and I had with him was, we want you to play when you're 100%. You haven't played in 2 years. It's going to be a lot of stress on you. It's going to be emotional for you. We want you to be at your best, and the maturity for him to understand that and to go out against Rice and to have a 4th down stop at the end of the game. He also had 3 or 4 tackles. Yeah. And then to come in last week, I think he played 25 plays, which is a pretty good amount, and played pretty good for us. He can run. He's loose-hipped. We're going to continue to develop him with his weight and block protection. But, I think that, justice doesn't always get rewarded. It doesn't always work out, but it comes close to always working out. And, for him to have that concrete example, to have 2 really big plays in 2 games, I know that means a lot to him. And it meant a lot to our team. I mean, when he made that sack against Rice, you would have thought that, we had a pick 6. And, because everyone just saw him work, and everybody goes through something like that. It may not be the exact situation, but people go through hard times, and, people watch you the most when you are going through your hard times. And how do you act? How do you treat people when things are unfair. And he's been unbelievable. And, I'm so happy for him and the success he's had. I'm excited for his development. This is a big week for him during the off week, the bye week, where he can improve his game and continue to work to contribute to our team. And he's a joy to coach, man, and he makes me a better coach and a better person.
Brett?
Are there any surprises so far as players, anybody that stands out that you weren't sure about once the lights came on?
Yeah, until you get out there in the game, there's always small surprises, but we try to create, and Coach Fritz does an outstanding job. We try to create a practice environment where a lot of those questions get answered. Some guys get out there under the lights and they lose their mind a little bit, and their focus, their fundamentals, their execution. Because like I said, I tell the players all the time, like, no one wants to be more successful than you. And sometimes that anxiety and pressure affects people. So we as coaches have to create a practice environment that's extremely stressful, confrontational, challenging, to get a lot of those questions answered. So I think, I heard Sean McVay say one time, the biggest mistake we make as coaches are the lies that we tell ourselves. And we're like, oh, this will be fine, or, this is going to be okay. Well, if you don't create an environment in which you have to see them in stressful situations in which they have to perform at a high level, and you don't create those situations, you're going to start lying to yourself and say, hey, it's going to work. So our staff has done an outstanding job from the top down with Coach Fritz of creating those situations. So we have a pretty good idea going out there, and some guys step up and some guys fall short. But I think it starts in the practice environment, and we get a lot of those questions answered because they play how they practice.
Right. And
that's where we got to continue to develop as a unit of, like, last week we played pretty good, but we practiced pretty good. But our expectations aren't to play pretty good. We want to play elite. We want to play great. So we have to have an elite and great practice environment.
So we've got
go ahead, Brett.
coming up, and we've got a lot of momentum going into that. How do you handle off weeks so that you maintain that momentum and come out firing on all cylinders on the backside of it?
Well, none of the successes or failures that we had the first 3 weeks of the season are going to carry into the bye week. Right. It's a fresh start. I believe, kind of like Coach Fritz, that you create your own momentum. I think it's, every game is full of momentum. Every practice is full of momentum. Like, that's life. Like, there's going to be the inevitable ups and downs and adversity and successes of a game. But, our thing going into this bye week is it's a bye week, not an off week. We just don't play a game Saturday. And we have 3 opportunities to improve, and we have to improve fundamentally with tackling, ball disruption, and block disruption and conditioning, where we can go play at a high level. And that's our focus this week, on top of working on Oregon State some. And that's all we're worried about. We're not worried about the future or the past. We're worried about making this the best 3 days from on the field work that we can have, the best 4 days of meetings, the best 2 workouts that we have in the weight room. We can continue to improve, and none of the successes or failures of the first 3 weeks are going to have anything to do with our future success.
Awesome.
Last question. I want to ask about your tablet use in games. I find this so interesting. After a series, you and the other coaches will huddle together to talk through this. What are you looking for, or how are you using those tablets? What's the best way to do that?
Yeah, it's changed so much, even like how you organize your coaches during the game. A lot of times you would put 1 to 2 full-time coaches up there, position coaches, kind of be your eye in the sky to communicate with you what's going on. But now, due to that, all our full-time guys are on the field because they're able to interact with their players. We have 2 great guys in the press box, and Pete Brown and Will Weaver, that communicate the down and distance field zone personnel and other information to me and the coaches on the field. But at the end of every drive, success or failure, we're going to huddle up as coaches and review the drive, because a lot of it, honestly, is the vibe of the players. I know that kind of sounds kind of corny, but when you're playing really well and you go over there and you overdo it, you can mess them up. And,
Right.
every time there's a failure, there doesn't have to be a win-win for the Gipper speech to the whole defense. Here's what happened. Here's what we have to do. Here's why what didn't work well. And we watch and evaluate every play that we can. People think you have all this time over there. You don't have a whole lot of time. So we have to hit the key plays that are going on, the mistakes, and not only just the mistakes that may lead to a negative situation, but the mistakes that could lead to a negative situation. Because every play, just because we have success as a defense doesn't mean that we did what we were supposed to do. And just because they have a good play doesn't mean that we didn't do what we were supposed to do. So it's communicating that. It's us having some poise as coaches and going over there and being as technical and tactical as possible with the players in between drives. Because like I said, no one wants to do better than them. No one's more emotional than them. So we have to kind of rein them in a little bit, fix the mistakes, communicate what's going on next, anticipate what's going on next due to the situation, the field zone, the time, and go through it with the players. What's interesting is, now because you have the tablets, like when you call the game as the coordinator and then watch it on the tablet, by the time the game's over, what happened already, which is different than it used to be. You were guessing. A lot of times you were dealing with the communication skills of your players and the honesty of your players. Because, every time they would gain 10 yards, every D lineman got double teamed, right? Like that doesn't happen anymore. You're able to communicate and handle the situations a little bit faster than usual.
Awesome. Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us tonight. And good luck this week in the bye week. I've been calling it the off week, but I'll go with bye week.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, thank you guys for everything you do for our team, and we're excited about getting better this week and moving forward. And thank you to everybody that came to the game the other night and made it a special venue for our players who worked so hard. And thank you guys for all you do for our team.
Great. Thanks, Austin Armstrong.
Right. Thank you, guys.
That was pretty good.
I agree.
Jack Martin coming up next. That's the third or so time we've got to talk to him on one of our podcasts. And I've talked to him on camera and off. I mean, virtually every practice. And that's what you get with Austin Armstrong.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts of what you just heard?
Fantastic. I mean, I've liked him since the first time we met him. And I keep coming away more and more impressed, and the amount of detail is impressive. And it's not just detail for detail's sake. It's detail that explains exactly what he means or what he sees or what he wants. You could throw a lot of technical stuff out there, but if people don't understand it, then it's kind of useless. You're talking over everybody's head. But it's very direct, and I definitely see what a lot of the players have talked about as far as being able to embrace him and him being concerned not just about getting the job done, but them as individuals too. So that's impressive.
That's something that Luttrell told us a couple weeks ago, is how impressed he was with how much Austin Armstrong thinks about him as a person and communicates with him on a personal level, not just football.
Right.
And, I think it's really impressive to see some of that. This comment I just want to get to real quick. What's the status on the two that collided together? So Willie Fritz does not address injury situations unless it's a season ender. Otherwise, they're going to let the guys get better. And so knowing how they do this with injuries, we're just not going to ask, because if Willie's not going to talk about it, Austin Armstrong can't talk about it. And it's an bye week, and we'll get Willie in a week from tomorrow, and I'll ask him about health of guys. The injury reports this week were pretty interesting to see how they kept evolving. You won't get that next week because it's not a conference game,
Right.
but you will get hopefully some information out of them next Monday. And frankly, right now, you don't know really where guys are. The collision thing, it looked bad. I don't think it's something that can really, exactly what's going on just yet. All right, we're going to bring in one of our favorite fellas. He kicked here a little bit, and he made a game winner for
we
you.
need to see a picture of it.
We'll get there. Relax. Jack Martin.
What's up? About time you had me on the show.
I can show the text message of all the times you said, not today.
Welcome
Jack, how
back.
you doing, buddy?
Well, I appreciate it. No, it feels good to be back. I had to throw on the Houston Red for this, so been a while since I threw it on.
Yeah, you could have just put that GoCoogs hat on that you bitched about for months. You got a GoCoogs hat and didn't even wear it.
Well, I should have.
Yeah, you should have. What's going on in your life now? You're in San Antonio.
Yep. So I moved actually right after the last game last year, right after BYU. 2 weeks later, I moved to San Antonio and started working. So I work for a company called Stryker, and I sell implants used in brain and heart surgery.
Nice. Are you any good at it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just getting by. Fake it till you make it. No, I enjoy it.
Hey.
No, I'm kidding. No, I really
Welcome
do
to sales.
Yeah,
You're kidding, but it's true.
Correct.
It's true.
It's partially true. Yeah, you really think I know much about brain surgery and heart surgery?
No.
Okay, there you go. No,
but
I really do.
From Alabama. Yeah, good. Because it's only 45 or 50 more years until you get to hang them up.
I know. That's right. That, and I was hoping I was wanting to, instead of working for Stryker, I was hoping to join GoCoogs. But what's going on with that?
We have an internship available right now.
An internship.
So, yeah, it pays a little less than Stryker, I'm guessing.
Okay.
But the benefits are also non-existent.
We'll talk off camera.
Yeah.
Send you to BYU to get a cougar tail.
That's what the last one did.
Really?
Yeah, we sent him when we went to BYU.
No, not one of those that get you Retzloft.
No, it's the ones.
No.
Don't they sell those? Yeah.
Yeah, right there. Duarte, our former intern, now has a job at the Houston Chronicle.
That's awesome.
Yeah, had him eat it on camera. Was appreciative of his efforts.
Got it right behind you. I didn't see that. Same photo on your wall.
Oh yeah, I do.
Yeah.
He forgot.
I have you on my wall too.
I actually got the photo you gave me hung up in the corner of my apartment. Yeah, that's awesome.
There you go. Yeah, you're on the wall of fame right there.
That's right. My buddies still, they haven't been to Star Pizza yet, but they're like, oh,
Pizza.
My buddies from back home, they're pumped that they're actually in a restaurant in Houston on the wall. Yeah.
So we were talking about you Friday night with Mike Batten. Batten does our post-game shows.
Does he?
And thanks for watching.
I need to hop on and actually tune in. Tell Mike to text me and I'll get on next time.
Tell Mike to text me. Jesus, just text him.
Yeah,
how fucking hard is this?
Well, yeah, I heard he's I need to get up with him because I heard he's starting to pick up personal training. Yeah, I've been seeing that. Well, has he spoke about that?
He is not, but let me play you a video of him from Friday night, and then maybe you can talk about his personal training.
Okay.
I was just telling him U of H really upgraded at kicker, and he said, yeah, but he can't make that jump into the stands like me. So, yeah, you got that going for you there, Martin.
Jack was a pretty good athlete, you know.
Jack's a great athlete. Jack
really
left U of H and went and got completely ripped. That dude is huge now. He's bigger than you. I mean, he is. I tell you, I saw him in San Antonio, and it was like, what happened to you?
I gotta hit him up and say, hey man, let me see that physique real quick. Hold up.
Okay, bro.
So is he bro. Jack Martin?
I don't know what that means. I'm just gonna show your boy Batten your physique.
Yeah, I should have got on here with no shirt or the cutoff.
Yeah. Cut off, yeah, like
Yeah, I
that.
should have
He
came
doesn't
on
wear
here with a
sleeves.
cutoff shirt. No, I still try and keep up a little bit with the football workouts, but I mean nothing like what Coach Hester had us doing.
Yeah. Are you still using I was a college kicker in bars? Is that working for you as a line?
Actually, it'll come up more for sales.
Okay.
Yeah, it works.
Well,
it works to my
and the
advantage.
bar is sales too.
Yeah, it is. It is. Still
Always
working
be
on that,
closing.
but yeah, no. I'll use the I played football card. That'll be a good combo starter with customers. But no, I normally don't throw that around too much just because when they do ask, oh, what position did you play? And then I say kicker, and then next thing you know.
Yeah, they're out.
Yeah, correct. Correct.
Speaking of kickers, Ethan Sanchez.
Yep.
Sanchez, excuse me. Tell me what you know about him and then what you thought about his performance Friday night.
I actually don't know. I don't really know anything about Ethan Sanchez, but I do.
He's better than you.
Yeah. Based off what we saw the other night, yeah, he did really well. And yeah, I watched both games, but obviously I remember his 5 field goals. What was he? 5 of 6.
5 of 6.
Yeah, on Saturday. So he did really well and super consistent, and he wasn't trying to kill it, obviously, but I think he did really well. And obviously I was paying a lot of attention to Jake Sock Holden, and it's cool seeing him and Jacob out there. They did really well. And then I'll tune in and watch Liam and try and keep up with him, even though he wasn't super busy on Saturday, but he's been smoking it. So yeah, I'm pumped for him. He was my roommate that last year at Houston, so I root for him. That and his parents are in town, so it's good he's actually showing up and in front of his dad, and I believe his mom's there in town.
His mom's there too.
Yeah,
she
which is
saw
awesome.
her first football game.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I found out they got a bye week this week, so I can actually catch up with some of them. Hopefully. I hope so.
You were backstage listening to Austin Armstrong, the defensive coordinator. What did you think about what he said?
No, obviously the defense is. I mean, it seems as of watching the first 2 games. I know it's early during the year, but it seems
3 games, Jack. They played 3.
3. First 2, 3. Obviously, I've been paying a bunch of attention, but no. So I watched that Colorado game, and no, it looked really well. And obviously, I like keeping up with the players that I played with, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy watching. And so it's cool seeing Carlos Allen out there and Latrell and Trey. I like seeing him out there actually. He's out there starting, which is awesome. He actually is blown up. The dude is huge. See him on TV. So yeah. It's cool seeing those guys on defense playing that I played with. So it's fun rooting for those guys. But it seems like defense is doing really well.
You were
seemed like a Southern guy, actually. I did think that when I heard him talking. Where's he from? The defense coordinator.
He's from Alabama.
Is he?
Yeah. I can't believe y'all don't know each other.
Yeah, I don't think I know him. Did he coach was it South Alabama or am I wrong? I could be throwing that out there.
He coached at Alabama, actually.
Was he? Okay.
Yeah. I remember you being at Alabama at some point, too.
Yeah. I don't know if I know him.
He was just at Florida. He was only at Alabama for a tiny little bit of time. He was at Southern Miss, Louisiana, West Georgia, but he's from York, Alabama.
Is he?
Yeah. So
I could tell by the accent. So I was like,
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. That's another Southern guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you and Jake Sock and Jacob Garza, the long snapper, were a team. Those guys have moved on to another guy. What have you seen from them, and are you keeping up with them? Yeah,
I still text Jake and Jacob Garza. We still even have our Instagram DMs. We'll send funny videos. Yeah, so we keep up, and we have all the group chats still. But yeah, no, I'm pumped for them, and I'm rooting for Jacob, just it being his last year, and obviously Jake with a new kicker, he wanted to stay on the field and obviously keep holding because he really did take a lot of prep. One thing, it sounds a little cheesy with holding and whatnot, but Jake Sock took tons of pride in holding, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted him out there. And so I was happy to see him and Ethan actually picking him to hold. So I guess hold his balls. but anyways. Yeah, no, it's awesome seeing them out there and they get excited after every kick. So
when you say he takes a lot of pride in holding, what do you mean? What does that mean?
Well, I feel like holding, a lot of people can roll out there and it's not necessarily super important, but actually Yeah, the snap and hold
Ask Notre Dame.
what actually puts you in the place to make a kick. So that's actually extremely important, and it's good that he actually works at it and he wants to actually be out there.
Okay, Brad, do you have any questions?
Usually if you know who the holder is, it's probably a bad thing.
Yeah, correct.
Not with Jake.
I'm still waiting on the day they roll him out to throw a touchdown, though.
I've been talking to him, but
yeah, I don't know when that's going to happen.
I think Ryan's always begging for some kind of cool razzle dazzle.
I know. Somebody's got to get into Fritz's ear about that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been watching Liam's arm, and it ain't coming from him. So.
No, I was about to say I didn't mention him throwing. I wasn't planning on it. Yeah, I don't even know if he knows how to hold a football.
What's going on in the NFL where everybody's kicking 65-yarders now?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Actually, we were watching. What game was it this past weekend? And I was with some buddies. We watched the Georgia Tech. And I'll tie it into this, but we watched the Georgia Tech game when they went on. What was it, a 55-yarder that they played? And the guys were like, "There's no way a college kicker should be able to hit a 55, 60-yarder." And I was like, nowadays, just the way kicking is transformed, you almost have to be able to, especially playing Power 5 football. I feel like that's one of the things that you can see it in the NFL. You almost have to have a 60-yard leg. And so one of the things in the NFL now, you're expected. And I know I've worked at it. I did my pro day and still trained a little bit and talked to a couple of teams. And I know one of my little workouts I had was we lined up and we just did 15, 20, 55-yard field goals. We just teed up at 55. And he was like, this is actually judged now. So you're expected as an NFL kicker to at least go 50% from 55 and out, which is wild. It's completely changed. It used to be 50 and in, 45 and in. You want to be 90%, 100%. Now you're expected to be – you're supposed to at least make 50% of the 55-yard plus field goals that you kicked. So it's definitely transformed. But it's like – what is it? It's like everything in life. It just constantly gets better and evolves.
Is it just from training and making the kickers finally work out?
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. Yeah, they need to get on a Mike Batten and Jack Martin program, and they'll be able to start doing that. Yeah, but yeah, so that's expected. I was sitting here today and actually watched, what was it, the Cowboys kicker. He drained a 60-something, 62, 64-yarder. Yeah, unbelievable.
And he hit a 63-yarder last year.
Yeah, it's crazy. In the last few years, it just seems like so many people are hitting from 60 plus. Yeah. I mean, most of my life it was just Tom Dempsey with his club foot kicked it. I guess 62 yards.
That guy was a hero in New Orleans. Watch it.
Well, it was him, and then the only other 60 plus was what was the guy from Denver and did it in Mile High. So you had altitude, and that was expected. Correct. And then Janikowski set down his beer and flicked his cig and get a kick. But that's just because he's a freak.
Like John Daly kicking.
Yeah. But now it's like everybody's hitting it.
Yeah, correct. You almost have to now because at my pro day I got taken aside, and when he said we're just going to kick 20, 55 yarders, I'm like, you don't want to see. He's like, this tells me a lot about a kicker, so which is wild. But
how did you do in that
games? I actually did really well there. Actually, believe it or not, I did. I believe it. There. But that was probably one of my stronger suits was just teeing it off and kicking the crap out of the ball. So
it was never going to be wondering if it's going to.
It was never going to be short. Okay.
Jack F. and Martin.
That's right.
Jacked Martin time.
So they at least still remember my name.
Absolutely.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm really mean to you on most of our podcasts, and people are very upset by that. So they do remember you a little bit. We use their equipment at Herman Hospital.
There you go.
Shout out
everywhere.
San Antonio. I tuned at the wrong time. You did, Jeff. There was serious football talk earlier. Now it's just three idiots talking. Hey, that actually works too. Three idiots talking sports.
See, now that you're on the other side, this is just the way it is.
Yeah. No, I enjoy it. It's been
Premium
weird actually
content.
watching football though. It's very weird now that not playing. This is my first.
You're a kicker. You watched a lot of
Okay,
football.
come on now. It's
But you still had to do the workout,
A little
so that's-
weird sitting here watching. I don't know. It's just you get a weird feeling. It almost you don't even like it.
What do you mean?
I remember that.
It bothers you watching a little bit. It's not as much college. I enjoy watching college football, but like obviously it didn't necessarily work out whatsoever. Yeah, it didn't. But I obviously I wanted to at least give the next level a shot, and that was always something I wanted to do. And it definitely hurts sometimes watching NFL kickers not do as well in the game. So yeah, that's just one of those things where it's like I think watching NFL bothers you a little bit more just because you're like fresh out. I'm assuming everybody else would be the same way. Because I know how's Mike? Did y'all speak about that? I wanted to touch base with him. What's he got going on with the whole NFL situation? Because I know we kind of talked a little bit about it briefly a while back with him. So
yeah, he's staying in shape. I mean, the guy works out 3 times a day.
yeah,
and is just being ready if any opportunity comes in pro football, NFL, wherever. So, I mean, that's all he can do, and just be ready for a call. Somebody's asking about your scarf, which, come on. Is that scarf he got from Bama?
it is. Yep. Yeah, it sadly is. National championship.
Hey, you got to take them when you can, right?
Hey, that's right. That's right. I still wear all the Houston gear more though.
What did you think about them getting smoked to open the season?
Do what?
What did you think about Alabama getting smoked to open the season?
Oh my gosh, that was rough, wasn't it? Florida State's either that good or Alabama might not be as good as people think. But I was there with my 2 years that I was there. Ty Simpson, the quarterback that's there now, he came in, so I kind of got to see him his first year, and he actually hung out with us a lot. He's a very good guy, so it's actually cool seeing him out on the field strictly for the fact that, like, when he first got there, nobody thought he'd ever be the quarterback at Alabama. So it's really cool seeing that and, like, the development of him. So I'm rooting for him just because that's awesome to me. So,
right.
Yeah.
I am right now eating barbecue chicken from Jim and Nick's
on Montgomery Highway. Hey, Jim and Nick's is hard to beat. There's actually a Jim and Nick's that just opened in Dothan that my mom's been going to get. It might be the one he might be talking about that. Because Montgomery Highway goes through Dothan. I don't know. Yeah, so that's awesome.
This is for Jack. Are you still working out and hoping to kick for a team?
I mean, yeah, I still work out. I was actually, when I first moved out here, I'd go 3 days a week and hop the fence over at UIW. And so I was kicking and doing that. And I was talking to a couple of teams, but now the things has kind of fizzled out. I ended up getting an agent, and I know some of the talk was, would you want to try the XFL? And definitely be somewhat interested. It's more just kind of figuring out with my job. I really enjoy my job, and also that'd be giving that up to go and do the XFL, which, to be honest with you, you're so young, take risks. I'd be all for it. So I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely still working out and doing a football training, and yeah, I'm trying to stay on top of it and keep kicking and keeping in the groove. So
Nick says throwback to last year's onside kick.
That's messed up, Nick. That's messed up. Can we remove? Hey, how do I? Okay. Do I have the authority to remove somebody from watching?
Why not? Sure.
No, I'm kidding. No, onside kicks. That was, to be honest with you, never my strong suit. I don't know if I ever practiced an onside kick.
Well, ESPN helped you out. They didn't even show it live.
Yeah.
So they
is he talking about the BYU one? I think I've had
that's what I'm talking about.
I had one at Houston. It might have been with Coach Hogue where it didn't go 10. And then the BYU one, okay, not necessarily. Now since I'm done, I can say it. The call was a bunt. There was 2 guys right there. It was never going to work. But I have to let it go 10 yards. Okay. So come on, cut me some slack, Nick.
Yeah. What can you do? Colorado had one Friday, I think.
That didn't go 10.
It says it did not go 10 yards and went out of bounds.
Yeah.
Didn't put yourself in a position there.
Yeah, that one was rough. I was happy to see that, though.
Yeah. The special teams have been really good this year. Liam's kicked the ball really well. I mean, you only have to punt one time a game. Things are going pretty well. But everything else has looked pretty solid. I don't remember any major mistakes so far. Brad, do you?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. Special teams has looked pretty solid, especially the game that I watched Friday. I know I was trying to tune in and watch Liam, but he had that one punt, which was obviously awesome, that bounced backwards. So
yeah,
that was huge.
At the 2-yard line. Huge.
I think it was because I'll throw this out there and I'll embarrass him. I think it's because he's finally got a girlfriend now, so he's actually punting well.
That is so.
There you go.
Yeah, so I'll throw that out there, clip that, and send it to him. Actually, post that on your Instagram or something, Twitter.
I'm typically anti-kickers getting girlfriends. I don't need their heads messed up more.
Correct. And
go to the bar, do your thing, and go home. But
hey, it's working for him. It's working.
He's getting jacked too. He's getting big.
Okay, I wouldn't say that, but
I'm telling you that you hadn't seen him most recently, but he's getting bigger.
The Houston food's getting to him.
Yeah, we got to get him back in Star Pizza, get him in real game shape.
Correct.
All right, Jack, we appreciate it. This was fun.
Yeah.
Am I too mean to you?
No, I love it.
Are you sure?
I wouldn't want to hop on here if it was super serious. So
right. So during the game the other day, I said Ethan Sanchez has made me forget about that last kicker, whatever his name was, and people took this a little personally.
Did they?
I didn't think
you
you
got a lot
would
of
take
people
it personally.
defending you.
I think it's funny.
I
really,
love it.
It's like
I love it.
So
See,
apologies.
There's still love. There's still love.
Very little.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
There's plenty.
Well, not for Monzo. Nobody gets that.
No.
That's right.
All right, Jack, we appreciate it. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it as always.
All right.
We all take care.
That was 2 good interviews there, buddy.
Man, it was a good night. Good Sunday. Man.
I was thinking about taking this thing off, just not even doing a show tonight, and I am glad we did it. I'm always like this. I'm always like, let's just not do it tonight. And then we end up doing it. And I was like, oh, okay, that worked out.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Coach Armstrong and I have the same taste in mirrors. I thought that said minors at the beginning, and I was a little stressed out. But it says mirrors.
Thank you. Good. That's good.
Way to go, Coach. You guys are really leading the entire squad after 3 games. Love watching the schemes develop, and all the kids look like they love playing the scheme for sure. It is.
It was really fascinating.
Cool to see that.
It was really fascinating to hear him break down how he installed it, and then kind of the method or the reason why he did that. Because I do remember when he came here, I know a number of people from Florida were saying how much they liked him, but they thought his defense apparently was too complicated. And now we understand that, okay, maybe it was the way it was taught. And, that's been refined here because, these guys look good.
Yeah. And he has explained that to me in an interview. But when you're doing an on-field after practice interview, you gloss over things. It's more coach speak. Getting him to sit down and talk and really explain it, I thought that was maybe one of the best explanations we've ever had doing this.
The bad thing is that this is available to the public, and he looks like a rising star, and I don't want anybody else to pick up on how good he actually is.
Yeah, it's early.
It's
see what this team can do, but for sure,
you'd like to see. Of course, you want to see the production, but it's nice to hear. It's impressive how it works in his head and the process that leads from thought to action and how it all plays out. And it's not just hey, we're fortunate to have a really good group of players. This is a product of what we do. So it's obviously repeatable year after year after year with new players.
And he mentioned it, but walking into a situation like this, he gets fired at Florida, and he walks into this situation where everybody's in place. it's not like he got to bring in his own guys. He basically had to mold himself to the defensive staff that he had. And so they had to learn on the fly just as much as the players did.
Mm-hmm.
And it's new terminology and it's different ways to do things. And it was a different way to install. And
it says a lot about a guy in that position, that not only can you coach your players well, you're coaching your coaches and able to communicate clearly to them, and everybody. And it turns out that everybody is on the exact same page, and it's doubly impressive because they're not your handpicked guys.
Yeah, and coaches or players, frankly.
Right.
So yeah, I want to see them face adversity in a game. They faced a little in that second quarter against Colorado, and the offense, he talks to me a lot about complementary football. Mm-hmm. And the offense was the most complementary in that third quarter where they just didn't let Colorado have the ball. And that helps a lot with dealing with adversity is, okay, we're just not going to be on the field.
Right.
That works out pretty well. Some more comments. I've never listened to an interview with Coach Armstrong. This guy is a phenomenal interview. Love his mindset. I could listen to this dude talk about his players all day. I love asking coaches about their players because I think we find out more about them from coaches than we ever do talking to them. Coaches will break it down and tell you things that you're not going to get anywhere else. And so I definitely appreciate that and enjoy it. And he did a great job there. I know it's early in the season. It makes you wonder why Florida not try and keep him.
Not wondering it. I don't need to know.
Well,
we got him. He's ours.
Billy Napier had to sacrifice some guys to keep his job. And, they went with defensive coordinator. They kind of went with special teams coach too. U of H picked up both. You have a special teams coordinator that was at Florida last year, a defensive coordinator that was at Florida last year. And through 3 games, both are working out pretty well. Liam Doherty has talked to me about how much Coach Couch, the new special teams coordinator, has improved his mechanics. He's much more efficient. He doesn't have a lot of extra movements in his kicks. And you're seeing that on the field in the results. So U of H scored on those two, at least through 3 games. So that's pretty cool. Wish you well, Jack. My 2 questions for tonight. Why are we not using Austin Carlisle somewhere on the field? He's the fastest guy on the team. Is it just me or is the punt blocking lackluster? Muse needs space. In terms of Austin Carlisle, he gets 4 games if he's going to redshirt. Willie's talked about maybe not redshirting, but you don't want to waste games. And frankly, I don't know where the spot is. I have not seen him doing the things that fans seem to think he's going to do, whether it's receiving, whether it's lining up in the backfield as a running back. We don't get to go to every practice in game week. The last 2 practices before the game, we don't get to see. So maybe they're putting things in and running it because they're starting to script how the start of the game's going to go. We don't see any of that. So I can't tell you that he's done some things at running back or at receiver. This week, we're not seeing anything. So they could add stuff. In terms of, go ahead.
I think we're screwing up because it should be exactly like it is in the video game where you just plug him in and you put him in and just go.
Yeah.
Because, he's got the highest, he's the fastest in the country. So, you can use that. But reality is that he's tiny.
He's small and he's young.
Freshman.
And he has focused on learning the playbook from the quarterback position, not from other positions.
Yes, and he's not going to play quarterback.
And the thing about that fastest speed thing, So we're going to show you a video soon about the catapults, the technology, the wearable technology they use. Those track speeds 10 yards, 20 yards, 40 yards, but they also can track they pinpoint your highest speed that you get to. And that's what's used in that game. And so it's not necessarily his speed at the line of scrimmage or getting off the, it's the spot that he gets to, that he accelerates to. And I don't know if it's really applicable to anything because, it's downfield. If he's a receiver, I guess it is, but he's small. And I don't know.
But here's the only issue that I have about people calling for Carlisle is that there's other people as well, but you're putting way too many expectations on a guy who doesn't need them, and right. I think it's that the speed rating in the NCAA football game definitely kind of ramped it up a little bit. But in a normal world, it's a guy who's coming in and it's a straight up red shirt.
Yeah. 5 years ago, he's a red shirt, period.
Yeah. I'll just say, give him time. Yeah. Because, if he's destined to play this year, give him time. He needs time to strengthen, get bigger, get stronger, understand more. It's going to take him time to learn a brand new position if he's going to be playing in a brand new position, and also still be prepared to be a backup just in case. Just a lot. It's a whole lot.
And you have a brand new quarterback, and the offense did not look great the first couple weeks, right? So that guy needs to be out there playing with the receivers that play the position full time. So those guys need reps. You can't be saying, okay, now we're going to bring this guy in to run a package at quarterback, and I'm seeing some things. Kenneth, my guy, says I would like to see some run packages with Zion. Okay, but number one, I don't know if you want to put your backup quarterback out there to take those hits. And two, you've got to get those starters gelled, and they're not there. And even though you had as many scoring drives as you did, there's still a lot of work to do. And I think you need to have your number one guys out there every time you can.
Yeah. And, that's just kind of it's kind of where the sport is right now. Hopefully things can change. Hopefully we're able to be more of the developmental type program that we aim to be, in that we can retain more people. So therefore you have more returning starters each year, or guys who have more experience in the system. Because if not, really normally you would like to, back in the old days, whenever you had guys here 3, 4, 5 years, you could use backups in the first 2 games, especially whenever you're playing Stephen F. and Rice, because guys are already familiar. They know what's going on. So, but now, it's a brand new start. What do we have? Half of all the starting 22 are brand new.
More than that. So,
at least.
Yeah.
And then, the fact that it would be great if we were only playing 22, but God dang it, we have to keep going to backups because people are getting dinged up. But hey, that's football. That's just the way it is.
Star Pizza. Get you some Star Pizza.
I don't know if that makes anybody hungry.
Get you some Star Pizza. The Godfather loves him some Star Pizza. Really loves him some Star Pizza. Go get it tomorrow. You got happy hour. You got the Texans game tomorrow night. It's the perfect place to pick up or get delivered a pizza before that game. I don't care about that game, but maybe I'll go get Star Pizza. 3 locations in Katy, 59 in Shepherd, Harvard and Washington, basically Yale and Washington. Lunch specials, happy hour specials, lunch buffet Tuesdays and Fridays. Go to get you some Star Pizza. Get you some Section 12X as well. They've got free shipping all week. 0 losses means 0 for shipping. Get you some shipping free. Get your Blue Game gear. That's coming up in just a few weeks. We're going to talk about it in just a second. But get you some Blue Game gear. That's the best place to go. Frederick has really stepped it up. He is doing phenomenal stuff. I just brought that hat that you're wearing to somebody today, and he was thrilled with the quality. He liked the breathability in the back.
Yeah.
And so check it out. You owe it to yourself and owe it to a Cougar who is doing things for U of H. I guarantee he's not making any money on this. He's just wanting to put these quality products out for a U of H fan base that has lacked that a lot of times. So check out section12x.com and get you your gear. Two Idiots Talking Sports. The Blue Game is coming up. You have Oregon State at the end of the month, and then Texas Tech the first week of October. There is a situation where you beat Oregon State and Tech takes care of business against Utah, and you might have big noon kickoff here at U of H. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's possible. But that game is designated as the Blue Game. I am a massive proponent of the Houston Blue, and I'll tell you why. This school needs revenue streams. They need ideas that they conceive, they execute and execute well, and this has been executed well. And they keep doing. So often U of H will try something, it doesn't work quite as well as they wanted, and they just move on. Or it works and they forget about it. The people move on, whatever. This, they're consistent with. This is your 3rd year of it. Have you had some bad results? Yeah, you lost a basketball game. Yeah, you got your doors beat in football last year, but that was going to happen no matter what you were wearing. I love the Houston Blue. I think you're seeing some different things, some cool looking stuff. What Frederick's doing at Section 12X with the Houston Blue, awesome. I am a proponent. I know you're not as big a fan. Tell me why.
I hate it. I mean, I absolutely hate it because I hate the blue. I hate being associated with the Oilers because we're not the Oilers, and I don't want to welcome that jinx of failure on my Cougs.
Okay.
But that being said, I understand it. We need to find revenue anywhere we can possibly find it. And if this sells, I mean, if it sells new shirts and whatnot, so be it. I mean, we're in a business.
Period.
Well, this is a whorish business. So, you can't be abstinent if you're going to get paid being a whore.
That's a really lovely metaphor. I appreciate that.
So, yeah, I don't like the blue, but, it is what it is. And if we're going to do it, we got to do it the best we possibly can.
Of course, are not whorish.
Oh, I'm a dirty pirate hooker.
But, we understand. This show is too pure to do things for money, and we would never do that. But I can understand why U of H would feel the need to sell themselves for a few dollars.
And I also know that my taste is not what everybody else's taste. Some people love the blue, and so be it.
Yeah, and that's fine.
If it
We
gets
may
more U of
never
H
change
gear,
anyone's mind.
if it gets U of H gear out, if people love to buy that stuff, great. We make some more money. People are wearing it out and about. It's more and more, the more branding, the better.
$36 tickets until tomorrow at 5. Don't complain on October 2nd that tickets are too expensive. The last time we wore blue against Tech, we lost. Yeah, 1 point loss in conference basketball. I'm with you, Towns. We're 30 years behind other power schools, so any additional revenue helps. Love the Houston Blue. Houston Blue emphasizes its association to Houston, not the Oilers. I agree with you, Wanda.
Well, that's what
I wouldn't want the brand to be associated with the Oilers, but the Houston Blue is a good thing.
I mean, literally, we wore the Oilers uniforms when we rolled it out.
Hey, not NFL. That did not happen.
Hey, but we had to change it and say, oh no, this was really about our blue cop cars.
I miss those cop cars. You could see those things from a mile away.
Rolling the city jail,
oh,
baby.
There it is. Found it. That's the cops. Cops.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Diego, you may have answered this on Friday. Has your season total prediction changed after the CU game? No. I mean, I'm still my only. What I say? Potentially.
I think you said 7.
7. Yeah. I mean, I want to get to 6. Anything above 6, I'm great with. But I'm still in that position where 7. But then again, it wouldn't shock me to get 9. I look at our schedule, and I've watched everybody play, and it's really going to come down to who makes the last mistake. You're going to have a couple of games where it's going to be who makes the last mistake. I mean, kind of like last year against Kansas State. They had a chance to come back. They made the mistake. We closed the game out on a pick. But I just don't see anybody that's head and shoulders above everybody else. Now, before that, talking about Texas Tech having a top 4 offense, yes, statistically they do, and they're probably got a really good offense regardless. But much like our top 15, top 10, top 12 defense, a lot of that's going to be built off the schedule. If you look at Texas Tech statistically, they're top 15 in defense and they're top 5 offense. But they just throttled Houston Christian and Akron. No,
that's Nebraska. They beat Arkansas Pine Bluff by 1 million, Kent State by 1 million, and Oregon State by 1 million. Now, Oregon I understand
the main
crapping on Nebraska, but yeah, Oregon State was kind of interesting with that long delay. I think they're good. Big Jack says they're legit. I think that's right.
I think so.
But we don't know how legit. Going on the road this week is a big way to prove yourself. They have a Fox game at 11. I'm interested.
I mean, their entire season basically happens in the next month.
Okay. Maybe fair.
They got this weekend, the next weekend, or the weekend after next, or their bye week. They got us here, and they got a home game, and then they're at, I think, Iowa State, I believe.
Okay. I don't remember this name. Maybe he had a good week. Good for you. Jay Wan?
Jawan?
Oh. Okay. Good job, Jawan.
He could pretend to be French with that name over there. Jawan Robert?
Yeah. I think the Germans will react really well to that. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining in with us today. We have had a lot of fun. This was a lot more fun than I was expecting. I thought Austin Armstrong we've had him on this show, but that interview, top 3, top 4 we've ever done. You have to take Kellen out of those because Kellen's in his own little class. But today, Austin was pretty good. And, Jack's good. Good for Jack. Love you, Jack. It'd be fun to watch him in the XFL or the UFL or something. You can go to those games and they can hear you boo him on camera. And I think I might I might go do that. Get me some player tickets and get going with that. Has your win total changed? No, but I am willing to let it change because here's my thought. You got 3 wins. Willie Fritz always goes on the road and steals a game that he maybe shouldn't. So that's 4. So if you win 2 more at home, that gets you to 6. Is there another win out there somewhere? Well, you get late in the year, who's playing for something? Is it UCF? Is it TCU? Is it Baylor? Those are your last 3 games. One of those teams at least is not going to really be playing for something. And so you can get a win there. I am liking right now going to Baylor. Yeah, they beat SMU, but I think there's something there. If Dave Aranda has been linked to the UCLA job already.
Isn't he going to UCLA like this week?
Yeah. If Dave Aranda's name is out there in the media that last week, who knows what happens? It happened with U of H and Art Browse at Tulsa.
That agent is doing work.
Good for him.
That extension.
We'll see, but I'm still at 6. I could be persuaded to go to 7. I'm just not quite there yet. Appreciate you answering the questions. And Tech passes the eye test. If they beat Utah, they might be top 10. Maybe. I don't think you're going to get that big a bump in this conference right now. I just don't think the respect is there. And besides, if Notre Dame wins a game, they're definitely going back to the top 10. So you just can't compete with that. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you to Star Pizza, to Section 12X, to the Ritz, to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. We haven't even mentioned them. Our association partnership with Dave Campbell's is fantastic. We love those people. Great interviews today. Thank you, Eric. I'm not reading that right. Thank you. GoCoogs.com. We're actually going to do quite a bit of stuff this week. Usually we take the off week with them. This would have been like spring break, last day, right before spring break. You just messing around. You pop a video in, but we're not going to do that. We're gonna do some stuff all week long. Too much
good stuff to talk about.
There is. Usually when this football team has gone into this off week, this bye week, as we now call it, really, I just wanted to get away from it because it beats down fans, it beats down players and coaches, but it beats down people that have to write about it because what the hell do you write about?
Yeah. Now the question is that what do you write about? Because there's a lot of
good stuff, and gonna have something good for you tomorrow. So thank you all so much for watching. Over 800 people watching us right now. We appreciate that. Nobody on Facebook. We're going to get there. We're going to keep somebody on Facebook through the end of the show. That's my goal. Thank you so much. Thanks, Brad. Thanks to Jack and Coach Austin Armstrong. That's going to do it for us tonight. See you this week.